Times are changing as it relates to how we're running our businesses, in part because of what's happening with the attention economy. So I'm going to talk you through some things that I'm thinking about as a business owner, that I hope you're thinking about as a business owner or a marketer, and how we may need to be thinking differently and sort of ahead of the curve of where things are going. So let's start here with just attention economy to make sure that we're on the same page about what I mean. Think about social media for a moment. Think about Instagram stories. Think about YouTube shorts. Think about TikTok. We can just start there. Notice how short that attention span is. Most of the videos that you're looking at are very short, very quick. If they're engaging at all, you're probably there for like 15 seconds and then we're on to the next thing. Those platforms are designed to be very sticky. Why? Because as a platform, the way they make money is by keeping you on the platform. So there's a reason that all of these platforms, inclusive, frankly, of what you're now starting to see on LinkedIn, is even a prioritization of video. Video hooks us. It keeps us stuck. It keeps us wanting to watch, and there's something very sticky about the content that we are shown because the algorithm knows that people that are likely watching this are likely to continue watching. I mean, you've probably been one of these users. I know I have. I've been like, let me just look at this for like 5 minutes. And then like 20 minutes later, I'm watching dog videos, which personally I love, but oh my God, what a colossal waste of time. So who's making money from that? Well, the platforms are, right? So like our social media platforms are making money by virtue of us sticking around there. But guess who's not making money there? The brands, the companies, the businesses like you and me that are like trying to run our business, trying to reach our customers and clients. They're not interacting with us, or if they are, it's not really conducive to shopping. Now, some of you will watch this and be like, no, it is work for me. And what I would argue is that you are the exception and not the rule. So I would say, congratulations. If it is working for you, hell yeah, go and keep doing it. But what I'm speaking to is the bigger arc, which is to say that for the vast majority of companies, we are not going to be able to break through into that space of the attention economy and be able to directly tie it to the revenue that we're producing. It's because it's really become entertainment. Mark Zuckerberg recently said, social media as we know it is dead. He was testifying in front of Congress and he said this, social media is dead. And I'm like, well, what does he mean by that? And it's that it's changed. And he gave a stat that was something like, now when you're engaging on social media, you might have 7% of your feed or 7% of what you're engaging in is people you actually know. People you know. The rest is like the other stuff, right? These are entertainment platforms. And again, they're monetized by you being there and the ads that are running on those platforms, AKA not you and your business making money, right? So let me connect this so that we can start to see the dots as business owners. We have to understand that people are now expecting that, right? So we get to a platform, we're looking at things that's very fast and furious. That attention economy is like instant gratification. But the translation of that has also started to run over into work where your customers or clients may expect instant gratification from the work that you do. They want results immediately. How many of you are marketers and you've felt this before from your clients, right? Me as a business coach, how many of my clients or potential clients will come to me and saying like, how quickly can I expect new results? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, how long have you been doing what you've been doing? How long did it take you to dig yourself into the hole that you're in right now? It's the same with weight loss, right? If you talk to any fitness coach, they'll tell you the same thing. They're like, people want to lose the weight yesterday, but what they don't recognize, they don't zoom the lens out, is like, how long did it take them to get into the position they're in? And they're impatient. They don't want to wait. They don't want to wait for all the time that it takes to truly transform. So as a species, as humans, I can at least say this for Western culture, we've become incredibly impatient. We're impatient in our personal lives. We want things yesterday. And that translates to how many of you are running your business. You're thinking, I want sales yesterday. but you're not doing anything inherently differently than you were yesterday or a week ago or a month ago, or you think you are, but you're shouting into the void. So maybe you're like, but we've been on social media. And I'm like, yeah, but the problem is you're now in social media acting like or doing the things that worked 10 years ago, right? Or maybe 5 years ago. Things have shifted, and they've shifted rapidly, especially in the last couple of years, especially post-pandemic, right? So in understanding that, you may be a business owner who's like, but I am trying new things. I'm trying to reach my customers and clients where they are, social media, one of these platforms, but like I'm shouting into the void, nothing's happening. And I would say, yeah, that sounds about right. So this is I'm recording now for about 6 minutes to lay the land of like what you're probably experiencing right now in your business is some question marks to go like, what the hell do I do? Like, if this is the reality of the world that we live in today, then like, how do we market differently? And I got to tell you, I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. To be clear, if a business coach tells you that they have the answer, you should run the other way. The best thing we can do is try things on. And this is really the logic for how you should run your business in general, is at any moment in time, you're making your best guess, and you're making your best educated guess on an understanding of what's happening in the world and the landscape, not only just universally what's happening in, say, the United States or the world, but what's also happening in your industry. What I am watching, and this is what I would encourage you to look at, is like, where else are people going and what else are they doing? I put a question up on LinkedIn a couple days, and it was a simple question. It said, in the next couple of years, what are you betting on? Are you betting on human-centered work, or are you betting on AI? Because we know we're at the precipice of where AI is about to become, it's already becoming a major thing. But that's a pivot point. And what I'm observing, and in the conversations I'm having, what people are craving still is the human touch that simply cannot be replicated by AI. And it's also the thing that's becoming increasingly more distant as people get into this very vapid space of instant gratification on social media platforms. So what I would pose to you is, how do you bring a human touch back into something that's being lost, but frankly, that people are in fact craving? What I'm noticing is that things that are happening in person are getting a lot of attention, and people are frankly saying how much they love it, how it feels like old times. Like yesterday, I went to a place called Sauna House. I sat for 2 hours without my phone, because this is a space where you are not allowed to use your phone. And what a freaking joy. The couple that I sat next to, as we were kind of like warming up after the ice bath portion, we were commenting on how joyful it was to be without our phones. Now, mind you, they're younger than me. They're probably 10 years younger. And we were just joking about like when cell phones even became part of our lives and part of our world. Like, I didn't have my first cell phone until I was like in college. She had hers like in high school, you know? So anyway, all this to say, people, real people, humans in your life, your own customers and your clients are probably feeling this a draw back towards humanity, a draw back towards being in person, experiencing life without the tech, experiencing the things that frankly can only come from human to human interaction. So what I would encourage you to do is to think about, how do you infuse that into the marketing work that you do? And remember, at the foundation of everything, people buy from people. What are you doing as an individual? Say if you're the individual representing your brand or your company, what are you doing to develop relationships, tactile, human relationships with people, so that when they are ready to make a buying decision, they will think of you? If you're a brand, how are you bringing that human aspect to what you do so that it's personified in the brand, that it doesn't feel transactional, that it feels human? I think we're going to see a major resurgence of in-person events, of things that are less tech, that are more human to human. I really think we're going to see places that are cognizantly saying this is a no sell zone, this is a no film zone, this is a be in human form zone. I think we're seeing a lot of swing back towards work that's feeling a little more spiritual, more connected, right? And we're seeing that not just in the spaces we've seen it traditionally in the past. When I use the word spiritual, in the past we might have said, well, yeah, it's spiritual businesses that are doing spiritual work. But I think what we're starting to see is that there's even a draw from traditional type of companies to go back into something that feels more connected, adjacent to that spirituality piece. So take note and really observe what your own customers and clients are doing in their real lives. Because I can tell you, they don't love being on their phone. They don't love the amount of time they're sitting and spinning on Instagram or TikTok, or like just burning through videos. Ask anybody. Nobody says they feel really joyful about that. So what I would say is, like, how do you bring a little joy into your marketing? How do you bring joy to the people that you want to serve? Because I can guarantee you that's going to go a lot further than the dead end of tech and technology that lacks that human piece. Right now, AI can't replicate us. So I would say it's important to keep bringing humanity into your work, to keep calling that forward, to not rely too heavily on the tech end of things, and frankly, to use AI to help you do things to speed it up. But I would say speed up the parts of your work you need to do, like speed up the production of your newsletter, or writing your blogs, or crafting the social media posts so that it frees up your time to get out and do the stuff that can only be done human to human in person. Give that some food for thought. All right, what are you saying? I want to know. I want to hear. And tell me, like, what are you concerned about in your own marketing right now? Tell me. I want to know.